What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Vortex. I'm your host, Kathleen Pitt. I'm having a little bit of a pivot with the Vortex recently. I've done a lot of beautiful guest interviews, and I have still a couple that I've done that I'm going to let trickle in. But I just have this need to talk. I have some things to say, okay? I have messages to give. I have downloads coming through me. I have been trying to figure out the best way to give them to my listeners, to my subscribers, to everybody who's here to get that little piece of grounding wisdom, internal wisdom. So yeah, I think I'm just tired of the polish. I'm tired of the show, the facade. Like, I want to talk to you guys as if you're my clients. I want to talk to you as if you're my people because I believe that you are, and I believe that you're here for a reason. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'm a mom. I got two kids. I live in suburbia. I have PTO meetings. I'm going to the zoo to be a field trip mentor. I also run a coaching business, and I have I take people to the Akashic records and psychic gifts and help them really establish their business and their plan all on a Tuesday. So I don't need to be completely polished. I'm not gonna be completely polished. And I think you deserve that. I think you deserve raw authenticity, and how I'm showing up in my leadership and who I am and how the fuck I'm doing this because that's like what I hear all the time from my clients. It's like, well, how am I supposed to do it? I have kids, I have this, I have that. And it's like, if this mission is put on your heart, if this thing is coming out for you, you cannot fail. You cannot lose sight of what it is that you're here to do and how you're meant to do it. There's no way that you can fail. There's just no way. Everything that's ever happened to you is happening for you. It's happening for your clients. It's happening for your mission. It's happening for your message. It is all part of the package. So whether you're a mom, whether you're somebody who suffers from a chronic illness, or you're taking care of a family member, you're a caregiver, whether you have you're working a full-time job and doing this on the side, whatever it is, it's time to reframe your mind and understand that it is happening for your fucking evolution. And when we can surrender to that, when we can release that and just say, this is bigger than me, this is bigger than my ego, this is bigger than my problems, this is bigger than the money and the abundance and the wealth and the peace and the love and the prosperity and the joy and all those beautiful things that we keep fucking calling in from the quantum field. This isn't about me. This is about the mission. This is about who I'm meant to influence and who I'm here to impact. You cannot fail. You can be a mom and you can do the things and have the meetings. You can do it. So I just think it's important for me to show up that way, to be raw, to be real, to be like, this is who the fuck I am. This is how I teach. This is how I guide people. This is how I get you back to source, how I get you back to yourself, how I get you back to the source within yourself. Sometimes I do it in a dress, and sometimes I do it in this sweater that from my gym. If you're listening, I'm wearing a baggy sweater today. But this is what the podcast is going to be, the vortex, the energy cycle and circle within of everything that I'm hearing and seeing and need to get out to the collective, and show you and highlight what's happening inside my circle, what's happening inside my world, and how that's going to work for you and how that's going to show up for you. So the message today obviously is, it's yours to do. But I went, man, guys, I've had a crazy week. First of all, I just got back from Naples, Florida. I went on this girls' trip. It was so fun. I've been friends with these girls for 20 years. And it was crazy to just wake up and do what you wanted to do that day. I haven't done that in a long time. Yeah, I do what I want to do during the day, but I have 100 responsibilities. Someone wakes me up, I'm putting people to bed, whatever. So I just woke up and was I think I'm just gonna go walking today, and that freedom to do that. And in that freedom was so much clarity and so much understanding of what I'm here to do and how I'm able to reset my mind, reset my frequency, reset my cells to what's calling me. Again, the mission's bigger than me. The purpose is bigger than me. My ego is getting out of the way and understanding that it's never had anything to do with me, right? It's about the people I'm here to influence, the impact I'm here to make. And so I come home and I have this moment of clarity. I shared a post this week about how I opened a credit card in college, and it was crazy. It was this crazy moment of if we don't open this credit card, we're not going to eat today. It was me and my boyfriend who kind of sucked. and he'll never listen to this. So he sucked. He just like never paid for anything. I paid for everything. He always had a problem. Like I would work, like if I worked, like my money would go to his stuff, right? And never like my stuff. And his money would never go to his stuff, only my money. And so I remember just being like, oh my God, like how are we going to eat today? What's going to happen? When I was finally approved, and I was like, oh, thank God, like we can eat. And I went to the grocery store, whatever. And then this week, when I opened a new credit card for travel hacking, which I have like, I use credit as an abundance, right? Like I'm investing in future self. I have the available means. And I just trust that I know that I'm going to make the money to pay it off. And it always works out or has worked out up until this point. And I just opened this card and it was like the moment that spinny wheel came up, my stomach dropped and I was right back there. I was right back to 21-year-old me sharing an apartment with my boyfriend, figuring out like how the fuck I'm gonna eat today. How am I like, how is this gonna happen? And it was so crazy, right? It's like quantum moment, this limitless time capsule that I'm in, this infinite circle of your subconscious hell of like, if I didn't have the realization to be like, why am I freaked out right now about this spinning wheel? Nothing's wrong. Like everything's fine. Why am I panicking? Why do I feel this way? And the truth was because my subconscious is incredible at keeping the human race alive. And it was like stored that in my nervous system as a trigger for survival. Like I was right back to like not knowing if I was going to eat that day, not knowing if I was going to be taken care of. Survival instincts are so strong in humans. And if I didn't have that awareness to say, oh shit, this is like nothing to do with me and everything to do with my survival patterns as a human, I wouldn't have also had the awareness to say, okay, like I see that this is happening. I'm not buying into it. Like I'm tuning back into the frequency of my future self, who I am and who I've always been, and letting that wash over me. Because that's the trick, right? We look to our world for validation that we're going to be successful, that we're going to be happy, that we're going to be okay financially, that we're going to have everything we've ever wanted, that we're going to do the right things and be the right person and be the right people. But everything in our external reality is a culmination of decisions of the frequency that we've made up into this point. So if you are looking to future you to make the impact and change that you were born for, you cannot look to your external reality for evidence of success. You cannot look to your external reality for evidence that everything's going to be okay, that you're going to be abundant, like it's all going to work out. Like that's not how this works. Every single moment in your being, in your life, when you're tuned into the frequency of that which you desire, you have to base it off of internal validation. I don't look to my external reality to understand that I'm going to be an international best-selling author, that I have millions in my bank account, and I own several properties across the globe, that I have my private jet that I'm flying to events for, marketing, networking, standing on stages. I know that that's done. I know that that's happening in the field. I know that that version of me consistently shows up in her beauty, in her glory, in her joy, in her fulfillment, in her alignment with the mission because it's bigger than me. It has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with the people that I'm meant to influence in my lifetime. So I can't look to my suburbia house and my two young kids and the PTO and the zoo and all that, the stuff and the problems and the things that I have to do right now. I can't look at like any limiting belief, like I don't have a speaking gig event booked right now, but I know that it's happening in 2 to 3 months. I know that that's like right there. I just know that. And if I can trust myself, I can trust that inner knowing, my soul's compass, my soul's map, my purpose that I'm supposed to be bringing into this world, into the collective experience. If I can trust myself so much that I continue to choose future me, that I continue to choose the frequency that I know is mine and I desire and I'm calling in, and I'm validated so much internally and have so much self-trust in who I am and what I'm here to do, then I'm going to watch my external world shift so quickly, it will feel like magic because it is. That is how you collapse time. That is how you quantum leap and shift and move. Call it delusional, call it quantum, call it manifestation, call it magic, call it whatever you want. But the limitless potentialities that exist in the field also exist within you. It is a choice. This work is about taking radical responsibility for who you are, who you're becoming, and what you are here to do. Who are you meant to work with? What is the message that you're meant to give? And how are you meant to shift people in your genius, in your glory, and in your integrity? I think a lot about um, potential when I see people. Someone asked me on a podcast recently, like, do you see the potential in people? Like, someone can be bigger than the other. And I cl very quickly clarified. It was like, well, I guess in a way, I think what you're asking is like, do I see if someone's going to be super famous rock star or if someone's going to own like a really thriving homestead? And I think in that person's mind, it was the question of like fame equaling more or like better than. But the truth is like just the way I see an expansion code in someone who's going to be famous as fuck and like have their like picture posted on tabloids and paparazzi as in the same way. And then when I see someone like running a thriving homestead with a home apothecary and like putting their brand online and like having that limitless abundance flow in for them and their family, it's like one's not better than the other because those are both their fullest soul expression. That is the influence and impact that that soul was meant to have in this lifetime. So it's like, it's not about the visibility, it's not about the amount of money, it's about true success, true alignment, true fulfillment in the work that they're meant to do here in the now, in this limitless space. Who are you meant to influence? Who are you meant to impact? And how are you going to bring that about in the field? And when you can live in full alignment, fullest truth of self, you'll be amazed at what happens in your external reality. You know what? I think that's such a great question for you to ask yourself today. What does success mean to me? Like, what does alignment mean to me? What does like being my wealthiest self mean to me? Because I think that there's this perception of, oh, we're gonna make millions and we're gonna be super famous and like we're gonna have our faces plastered on fucking billboards everywhere. And that is when I'll know that I've made it. But like, what if you made it right now? Like, what what if the way you're living, like creating heaven on earth now, creating safety and security now, like choosing to get out of that subconscious pattern of like, oh my God, am I going to eat today? Am I safe today? Am I secure today? Hope everything works out for me today. Ugh. What if you got out of that pattern now and instead chose to be famous now, chose to feel wealthy now, chose to feel abundant now, chose to feel like you're making the impact and income that you were born for now? What would your life fucking be like if you just decided that everything was happening for you right now? How would you be moving? How would you be acting? How would you be showing up? How would you be marketing yourself? How would you be presenting yourself in rooms? How would you be introducing yourself? What would it be like if you let go of the facade, if you let go of, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? Will I be enough? Will I have enough? And instead, just knew that you were enough, that you were full of love and life now. Like you are enough now. You are worthy now. You are everything now. What would it be like to live heaven on earth right now instead of waiting for the next level, waiting for the success, waiting for the followers, for the income, for the money, for the partner, for the house, for the car, for the kids? What would it be like if you just started loving your life now? And if you don't love your life now, if you don't love what's showing up in your life and how you are being presented to the world and what is constantly reflected back to you, what are you going to change about yourself to welcome in what you'd want, what you desire. How are you going to welcome in future you? Because if you're listening to this far and you're any part of my world, my contacts, my purpose and mission, if you've gleaned anything from what I say, it's that you know you're made for more. It's that you know that you have a life out there that you are currently living in the quantum field. This life of beauty, of praise, of joy, of love, and abundance, of peace, fulfillment, freedom, sovereignty, where you're not worrying, where you're not worried about the next thing, where your next meal's coming from, where your next clients are coming from, where your next income paycheck's coming from. There's a life that you're living out there where you are fully fulfilled in every aspect of your being. And you're creating an empire, a life in business, a course, a farm, tabloid paparazzi. You're creating the life that your soul is calling you to. And if you can feel that just for a minute of the person that you know that you're meant to be, then you can ask them, what am I meant to be doing? How am I meant to be showing up? What am I wearing? What am I eating? What's my day look like? What is the frequency that I can sit in, that I can allow to wash over me, to wash over my life? How can I welcome this version of myself in? And when you let go of all the ego and the perceptions and it's about me and hopefully I'll be okay and if you can let go of all that and instead tap into that soul fulfillment. I cannot come up with a fucking better word. Like spirit keeps trying to give me another word that just shows you fullness of self, like wholeness, holiness. You're holy, whole being the one, the unity. If you can tap into that feeling of overflow, limitlessness, fullness, and you can let it wash over you, then you can also see what your next action is in the now, what you can do in your 3D world, how you can shift things, how you can mirror back your external world to allow that validation internally to build up and up. And I know this about myself. I know this about myself. I know this to be true. I will not falter in my mission and my purpose and my alignment because there is no other option. My goal in life as a human is to live in the fullest expression of self. And when I can live in the fullest expression of self and I can feel into that alignment and I can see the success that I know that I was born for and it's calling out to me, then I can be, I can just exist in fullness and happiness and joy. So, what does success mean to you? What does that fullness mean to you? What does that holiness mean to you? What are you doing? And how can you do that right fucking now? Like, we don't have to wait. You just get to do it now. Feel it now. Be it now. Live in the now. Everything's happening now. And when you can find that sweet spot, that moment, that like little piece and sliver in time where infinite possibilities exist, existing in infinity. Well, shit, you got to figure it out. Bottle that up, knock it back, because that's your life. That's your soul. That's your calling. That's everything you've ever wanted and everything you've ever desired. And it's all happening for you. It's all happening with you. And it's all happening now. So this is the vortex. This is kind of where the podcast is going to go. I'd love, one of those like, rate, review, subscribe, bang, bang, booms. And I'd love for you to define success for yourself. And feel free to comment or like message me, Instagram, Facebook, where the hell you found me. What you're going to do today to lock that version of yourself in. Because life gets to be so fucking good when you let it. not safe for children. Have a beautiful day.